Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, if you are absolutely hungover like I am, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe because this is going to be going over some pretty cool, awesome PlayStation features that are actually now on the ongoing and coming stage. Now, we've actually been seeing a lot more news in terms of like the next future gen steps and what people want to make better, how they want to make things more immersive, and everything else all in between. And it does kind of seem like the PlayStation 5 itself kind of had that core principle when it first kind of came out, especially with the adaptive feedback on the controllers themselves, built-in motors, and just everything all new and in between. It's kind of like them kind of taking that next little, somewhat more exclusive whole like kind of console ecosystem style, rather than say for Xbox, it's just like we'll give you games on Game Pass. But with this was actually a brand new huge list of other new features and other cool things that are being kind of announced and teased about. And as well, we do think a lot of this stuff's going to come more to gaming in the near future. Now, some of this might be in regards to eye tracking, some of this might be in regards to what you actually can do with said eye tracking, and just throughout this week we've been seeing teases and embargoes and NDAs being lifted, and it kind of makes it seem like the 2023 is going to be a little bit cooler when it comes to brand new technology. So we're going to highlight and showcase up some of these because, as I'm sitting over here kind of still hungover, it's kind of cool to see the future of where gaming's going to be. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, Twitter and Twitch room down below if you guys want to follow, and of course give me your thoughts and comments down below. So this will be a little bit more in regards now for the PlayStation VR 2, which is kind of like still in that same PlayStation ecosystem. And a lot of these also will go correspond with also potential future things when it comes to, say, if you go get a PlayStation 6, built-in camera, eye tracking software, which is already kind of prevalent on PC, or as well if you kind of do this in correspondence with the PlayStation 5 controllers, but this is also mainly for the, well, obviously, PlayStation VR to start off. So it's kind of cool because this is a lot of interesting and unique concepts. So here are basically all the PlayStation VR 2 games that will use eye tracking in basically cool different ways. And if we've kind of covered up this article before, you touch on that really quickly to kind of like, I guess, reset this one up. We actually had talked about this where Supermassive, as of maybe like 2 days ago or so, had basically had a huge new feature reveal, which was basically showcasing up that eye blinking responsive enemies was going to be very popular. Now, we kind of want to talk a little bit more, but basically this idea was, like, let's say they have this eye tracking, where you guys can see the eyes of the person as they're while doing it, and then if you go and blink, then in theory, the eye tracking software knows your eyes are not well open. Or if you look to the left, or look to the right, or whatever it might be, it can basically go and track that because you essentially have an LED screen like right in front of your face. So that was one kind of really cool idea where they say a door painted with the instruction, don't blink, opens up to a room, as like for the example, a blood-speared mannequins and Harley Quinn mask. Their bodies twist in unnatural poses, and eventually just can't help it over time after a few seconds, and you have to shut your eyes, and then that's kind of like the incorporation of their horror moments for the game itself. But with this, there are actually now even cooler other features that are being tied on in with the PlayStation VR 2 tracking, which kind of just goes to show that the future of gaming is actually coming, and we actually like the idea, too, that we're getting these cool new features as well. So let's go kind of give you guys some rundowns with it. So the PSVR 2 has also had many cool, awesome features that make it a major step up from the original PlayStation VR, featuring 4K OLED displays, inside-out tracking, headset feedback, and also these renderings that are basically able to make games feel much more immersive in the PSVR 2. And as you guys know, it's now officially 2023, so we now officially go and think and talk about the fact that this will be coming soon. So also saying this is another feature that they think sounds really cool, which is basically just the eye tracking. So next gen finally over here. So according to the PlayStation website, the PlayStation VR 2's intelligent eye tracking allows you to express yourself to fellow players in both new and lifelike ways. Eye tracking also simulates heightened emotional responses from your in-game avatar, giving an enhanced sense of realism. So eye tracking certainly sounds like cool features, and there's already kind of cool news because some of these games are already highlighting and showcasing up what they could actually do with this eye tracking. So from Sony's official description, you think that eye tracking would only play in a role in, say, like a co-op or multiplayer game, but now we're seeing these developers utilizing this technology for even other cooler stuff, like how we mentioned with Supermassive's, like blinking combat going on. So you can see number one here with Firewall Ultra. So they basically have said it's not been basically confirmed as a PSVR 2 launch as of just yet, but we already know it's going to be on the PlayStation VR, so it might just show up a few weeks later, a few months later. But one big thing too is that they're basically using this eye tracking software in a very, very unique way. So one of the PlayStation blog post developer, First Contact Entertainment explains that Firewall Ultra uses the eye tracking to literally let you go and select weapons from the weapon wheel and also to go bring up the HUD elements. So as you guys can see, there's an action level right above, like right over on top of there, where you basically see this kind of cool clip where like you're basically looking and you're basically, as you like say, like you pull up on those wheels, the game can kind of go and tell if you're going roughly left, right, up, or down. And it kind of makes it so you don't have to like have some weird like, control, because basically if you're doing VR, you have to do a handheld like this. It's making it so you don't have to do like this awkward up-down hand motion or have to do like some weird stuff like this. It's more on the fact of you go and you pull up the menu as you're kind of moving around, and you still maybe use the controllers and your general like room feedback to move around. And then while you have the weapons, you just go like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. And it basically lets you go and kind of be more in tune and immersed in the game itself. So basically utilizes new PSVR 2 Sense technology features like eye tracking, which enables you to intuitively swap weapons and bring up HUD indicators basically through the cameras and using your eyes as the interface, which is just really, really cool. So with Firewall Ultra being a fast-paced shooter using eye tracking in this way, it's cool because once again, you can maybe go and save yourself some time. It doesn't really necessarily take away from, well, your experience. This also as well in a recent Edge magazine article. The article's author, who played a demo of Dark Pictures Switchback VR, seems pretty enthused by a particular eye-tracking feature as well in this game, which is once again adding to the list. The author explains that during the game there is a door with the words "Don't blink" on it, and then basically, as we mentioned too, it has this kind of like cool little body that we showed you guys, and it's basically kind of whenever you blink, it will make them go and move to as well, which is actually really, really cool too. So basically, you had to go and be like tactical with the blinking and what you're doing. Also, we have also Tentaclear. So Tentaclear from Fire Punch Games is a physics-based adventure with inventive and immersive VR gameplay. It also uses PSVR 2's eye tracking feature as well. Also in the latest Edge magazine issue, basically if we're talking about the VR, they basically go and say that one of the biggest changes to these are actually the version of eye tracking. So in previous versions of the game and other VR platforms, players interacted with the game's villagers by basically tapping them on the head with one of the tentacles. But in the PlayStation VR, you only have to just go and look at them. That's really cool. I mean, it's tough to press the button, obviously, but like the idea of like the game knows roughly where you're looking at. So as you go and look and you glance and look at these people, it just goes to show that the game kind of knows. And this also is like, don't forget, new technology. So imagine what this might look like with the PlayStation VR 3 or as well PS6 and all these other big integrations, because that is just going to be cool. It's just different. It's just nice. It's just very like fine-tuned. At some point in the future, maybe they already know that you're looking at them just for your eye tracking, maybe in the future PSVR 2 or, like I said, PSVR 3, you don't even have to click a button. Like, this is really cool future tech. So the article also states that Kabash was reluctant to use this feature at first, worrying that it might take away some of the game's charms, but when we implemented it, we realized how elegant it was. It really helped us fix something that we were trying to fix, but we just couldn't do it before. The developers also explained Tentaclear's eye tracking feature in a previous PlayStation blog post, stating, firstly, eye tracking allows you to interact with the inhabitants of Ella Calma by simply looking at them. So basically just using your cool little tentacle vibe, you could rock it on out. There also is Moss and Moss 2, where they have the award-winning games of Moss, and this once again also has even cool updated features for the PlayStation VR 2, where both updated games use the PSVR's 2 impressive features to make them more immersive, and this also does include using eye tracking technology as well. So if you guys had a chance to go and see this one too, if you can actually know an object is interactable, it basically would be usually movable through solve puzzles, and then have a bluish tint when you hovered your ghost cursor over them. So now with the PlayStation VR, you only just have to look at it. Like look at the example right over there. If you guys just literally look at an object, it'll have a special hue and special color that will make it so you can basically go and know it's interactable, and you need to use this to go and help solve the puzzles and basically progress throughout the game itself. This is really cool technology as well. I love this. So have Resolution Games, where they have Demio, basically uses eye tracking to add a bit of magic in the game menus, basically showing that people are able to select things in the menu just by looking at it up and down as well. And also because Cosmos is high, which also does have this where basically you're just gonna have a lot of fun because you have this with the PlayStation VR features to include eye tracking just to make the game more, utilizable. So basically players' eyes move and blink as they do in mirrors, and when they're taking their photos, just make sure not to blink. So basically kind of like even reflects down to real life in your built-in character. It kind of goes to show that the future of all this technology for 2023 is going to be very, very cool and very nifty, and a lot of the stuff's going to be way more different than we're all kind of expecting. expecting. So let's go. I kind of want to hear your thoughts and comments on this down below, because I think this is sick. In the future for games as a whole, that'd be pretty cool. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well. Make sure you guys are also following the Twitter and Twitch stream down below. We also do have the brand new year, so happy 2023. And also check out the Amazon and Target links down below. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place.